For number one, I think what I would do is I would graph it using Desmos. So, oops. Let's see. Well, let's see. Can we extend that dot a little bit further? It looks like it's going to be right around 190 messages will cost us about, let's see, 190 messages. Why is this not working? It looks like about $133. Number two. A police officer uses a radar distance meter to monitor the speeds of cars as they pass by him. A car is 299 feet away 3 seconds after he begins scanning. The car is 851 feet away 9 seconds after he begins scanning. The linear function that gives the distance in feet as a function of time is d equals 9d2 t minus 3 plus 299. Reverse this function to give time as a function of distance traveled. Okay, so in this case, it looks like you start with t, and then you subtract 3. Oops. And then you multiply by 92. And then, oops, t minus. And then you add 299. So it says reverse the process. So we're going to start with d. And from that we're going to subtract 299, and then we're going to divide by 92, parentheses d minus 299 divided by 92. And then we're going to add 3. So d minus 299 divided by 92, subtract, add 3, and that'll be our answer. Now I'm gonna make these so that they match up distance-wise, so that everything looks the same as you're going forward and backward. Oh, I see, I forgot one. 92 parentheses t minus 3. Okay. There are 2 gas stations near your home. Station A sells costs $2 to drive there and back, and it sells gas for $2.50. Station B costs $5 to drive there and back, sells gas for $2.25. If Y represents the total cost to buy X gallons of gas, what amount of gas yields total cost for both stations? I think this is another good one to graph in Desmos. Let's add a graph, and let's put a table in there. Okay, in the first case, it says we're doing 0 gallons. Oops. 0 gallons costs you $2. and then and it sells gas for $2.50 a gallon. So 10 gallons would cost $25 plus $2. Oops, because you have to pay for the for getting the gas. Okay, so then let's add another table. And in this case, 0 gallons costs $5, and 10 gallons would cost $5. Okay, now where did they cross? It's like they crossed right around 12 gallons and $32. Remember, since it's multiple choice, you don't have to be exact. The graph shows the total cost, manufacturing bikes, $420. The bikes are sold for $590. X is the number of bikes. Y is the total cost. A pharmacist mixes 2 saline solutions, one with 5 milligrams of salt and another with 10 milligrams of salt. She needs 10 liters of 8 milligrams of salt. She has the following system of equations. So 5x plus 10y equals 80. Let's put that into decimals. Add a graph. 5x plus 10y equals 80. X plus y equals 10. It looks like they cross at 4 and 4, 6. So we would say that she needs 4 liters of the 5 milligram solution and 6 milliliters of the 10 milligram solution. Alright, it says Los Angeles to Orlando is 2,200 miles. One plane flew from Los Angeles to Orlando, back to Los Angeles, then to Orlando again, flying east with the wind. The plane flies at 400 miles per hour. Flying west against the wind, the plane flies at 200 miles per hour. The total flight time is 22 hours. If X represents the time flying east and Y represents the time flying west, the times, that's what they're talking about here, times add up to that. So let's go to graph. The times add up to that. Counting the distance of one round trip, we know that. So here's our other equation. So we have a time equation and we have a distance equation. And so putting those two together, they exactly overlap each other. What can be said about the number of solutions of this system of equations? It's an infinite number of solutions. A small 4-passenger plane took a trip from Houston to New York and then returned to Houston. On the way to New York, the plane traveled at 125 miles per hour. On the return trip, the plane flew with a speed of 250 miles per hour. The round trip distance, so now we got distance, and the round trip flight was 15 hours. Okay, so it's just like the previous one. We've got 125x plus 250y, so that's the distance equation, is 2,500 miles. Then it says the time equation, so x plus y equals 15 hours. Got it? Alright, next. Suppose that x represents the number of child tickets sold and y represents the number of adult tickets sold. Okay, so let's get the system of equations in to Desmos. Alright, so, sorry about that. It's okay. Our solution is right there. 10 tickets for children, 25 tickets for adults. Expand and simplify. So let's take this, copy, and let's paste it in Desmos. And when we do, we get the two solutions are -3 and +1.5, and it's open up. So we can multiply it out and we get 2x to the second minus 9. That gets us close, and then the middle term is positive 3x minus 3x is positive 3x. Positive 3x minus 9. So A is 2, B is 3, and C is -9. First differences of quadratic are increasing or decreasing, I guess you'd say. The maximum value of this function is at 3, 2. The vertex is at 3, 2, excuse me. The maximum value is at 3. Write the function below in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So let's go to Desmos. You gotta make this bigger so I can see. Denominator cancels and you'll get 2x to the second. Oops, equals. And then the 2x to the second cancels against the x to the second, and you'll get plus 2. And if you notice those two graphs now, so b is 0 in this case. Write the vertex of the graph of y equals f of x is at the point -2, +3. What is the vertex of the graph of a of f of x? Okay, so let's get the vertex form here. Add a graph. The vertex form of this graph. So f of x equals parentheses x plus 2 squared plus 3. Okay, so the vertex is at -2, +3, and now we're going to multiply this. So g of x equals a times f of x. Okay, so let's see what happens. If a is 1, of course they're going to overlap. If a, let's make a 2, if you notice, what does that do to the vertex? It moves it vertically twice as far. So it doesn't change the y, it doesn't change the x coordinate, it only doubles the y. So how does it affect it? It moves it up and down, or stretches it out. Okay, so let's here look at this one. Well, I think the easiest way to do it is to just put it into Desmos, and that'll tell you what the coordinates are when you get done. F of x Then we have to change this to squared. Okay. Alright, so the coordinates of the vertex are at over 3, down 24, or over 3, up 14. Next one. Find the inverse of the function, okay, I'm sorry, 2 matches with 0, 3 matches with 1, and 8 matches with 3. Graph of the function f of x is given below. Sketch the graph of f negative 1 of x. Okay, it's going to go through, if we're going to do this, we're going to go over 2 up 3 and over 7 up 4, and it's going to sketch like that. Okay, suppose the function g of t equals 3 square root t. Find an equation f of x that represents the average rate of change on the interval from 0 to x. So g of t is 3 square root t. G of t equals 3 square root t. Okay, we're looking for the average rate of change from 0 to what? From 0 to any number. Okay, so it's going to be the average rate of change will be a fraction, right? And the numerator will be 3 square root x, and then minus 0, because the square root of 0 is 0, and then x is the denominator, or x minus 0. Either way, you're going to get 3 square root of x over x. Next one. Nope, that's the answers.